Hello everybody, I'm Maxi. Welcome to a new episode. Now that there are China travel videos all over the internet, Chengdu somehow became world famous. It now seems to be known more as the gay capital instead of the panda capital. And there seem to be a lot of people coming just for that experience. At least that's what I get from my bubble on the internet. So that's why I decided to make this episode to give a 101 on the wild world of Chinese gay slang. Should I call them slang? I don't know. Anyway, this episode is about this socialist dark magic in case you come for the experience but cannot get it due to language barrier. And before we start, I need to say the things you are gonna hear in this episode can be very graphic, so please carefully evaluate how much you can handle before you proceed. Okay, now let's start. In general, I think you can say the gay slang in China is very colorful and descriptive. For the basics, the most common ones, we have 灵一公兽熊猴狼牛龙. These are just the most commonly used ones, and there are actually more, and some subcultures may have their own slang, but we don't have time to cover all of them in this episode. So, these ones, if you can already guess what they mean without me explaining, congratulations, you have a wild imagination. You should do art. Unless you are Aquarius, because then you would be a starving artist, and we don't want to be starving, do we? Anyway, these are the basics. The Chinese gay taxonomy in China is a little different from the English ones. For example, here people don't say top and bottom. So if you talk about these things to a non-English speaker and you use the direct translation from these words, they wouldn't understand what you are saying. Because here we say 一 and 零, 1 and 0, because that's how graphic things like this can get here. And by the way, if you are talking about someone who regularly switches between 1 and 0, it's called 0.5, 0.5. And on top of that, we have another level, and it's called gōng and shòu. The character gōng literally means attack, and shòu means accept or endure. So the dominant one, the proactive one, is a gōng, and the submissive one is a shòu. Sometimes I see some people mistake this with top and bottom, especially some straight girls who watch the gay world as a hobby. No, they are not the same. Gōng and shòu are not top and bottom. That's 1 and 0. This part is just talking about the dynamics in the relationship. It has nothing to do with sex. So yes, for the basics, we have two levels talking about gay relationships. Okay, and aside from this, there are also many very common and colorful gay slang for some gay subtypes based on how they look or what activities they enjoy. And somehow, nearly all of them are animal words. I think the most easy one to understand is xióng. It means bear. This type also exists in the English gay world, but sometimes this name here can have a slightly different nuance. In general, this is describing the gays that are on the more meaty side, or should I say chubby. It can be with or without muscle, and they are hairy. That's a bear. That's a xióng. On the opposite side of xióng, you have hou, which means monkey. This is used to describe a slim or even skinny gay without much muscle. That's a hou, a monkey. And by the way, these names are not used as an insult. It's commonly used in the gay world here. And by the female gay lovers here, we have a lot of them here. Anyway, that's xióng and hou, bear and monkey. And besides these two, there is another very commonly used type. That's láng, which means wolf. This one is used to describe the slim but muscular kind. So most of the gym gays you now see on Instagram and Xiaohongshu belong to this type. So these three are the most basic types. And again, I want to mention, because of how short and simple these Chinese words are, it's very easy to use them as a language Lego to express very complicated identity. And people here do that. For example, 熊灵 and 猴一, 熊灵公, 猴一兽. It's pretty easy to freestyle it. Okay, these three types are about your appearance, and there are also some common subtypes that's talking about what activities you enjoy. And on this side, I think the most common one you can see is 牛, which means cow, And here it's specifically referring to dairy cow. And what do dairy cows do? They produce milk in a large quantity. So here, a cow is describing someone that, in a very BDSM sense. And then after you understand that there are cows, it becomes very easy to understand that there are farmers. 农, it means farmer. This is also a common type. And what do farmers do? Some farmers plant crops, some farmers plant fruits, some farmers plant flowers, some farmers milk cows. So these two types always appear together. They are inseparable. Okay, I think we need to make it stop here, otherwise it would become too graphic. And these basic types is already enough for you to navigate most of the gay world here. And again, I want to say, I really think Mandarin is very convenient in expressing complicated identity like this. This channel is by principle about Mandarin. Do we still remember that? Anyway, it's very convenient to express identity. For example, there are now many young straight girls like saying they are 直女微双, literally means straight woman, a little bit bisexual, usually in a joking and somewhat irresponsible situation. A lot of lesbians are not happy about that, think they are not serious enough, so there is now a vibe like, my costume is not your No, my culture is not your costume. That seems to be a little bit oversensitive in my opinion. I think maybe learn from the gays. You need to encourage the other side to sometimes try something better. It's better for the exposure and public image, right? Anyway, those are the basic words you need to navigate the gay landscape here. And before we end, I want to say things like that don't only exist in Chengdu. Yeah, Chengdu is a famous, colorful city known for things like that, but so is here, Shanghai. And I always think the experience for gays are better here because the local food here is not spicy. So if you are planning to come here for those kind of experiences, both of these two cities are good starting points. And that is today's video. Hope it's helpful for you. And again, thank you all for watching this far. I'm Maxi. I mostly talk about Mandarin, but sometimes share some fun facts about China. And if you like this video, if you like what I do, please leave a like and subscribe. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.